I do want to remind everybody that the book will be on sale after the reading, and that Dr. Rafey Habib will also be available to sign some of them if you brought your own or if you'd like to buy one.
It's $1 extra.
Thank you very much. This is a happy moment for me. I've known Rafey for a while, and I've known his poetry for about a decade. In the preface to this book, one of the things that I note is how Rafey writes as a Muslim in a predominantly Christian culture, as a native of Great Britain in America, and as a poet. What smaller, greater minority is there? Smaller minority is there? But the other thing that occurs to me is that Rafey writes with a sense of the ridiculous, which I love, and he brings a sense of the ridiculous to the academic, which is mostly ridiculous, as those of us who work in academia know. This poem is not, though. The poem that he asked me to read tonight is called Tsunami 2. I'm happy to begin the reading by reading this poem from the book. Stood at the door of his ramshackle hut in Penang. I knocked. My family huddled on the steps, cameras raring. This fishing village had been knocked hard, but not swallowed. Without question, he let us in, dark, bespectacled, children hanging at his side, wife watching from the kitchen doorway. 2 rooms in total, crude wood, floors, 1 sofa, a few pots. All sunk a month earlier beneath shells of water whose mark still stains the walls. And on the wall, a single poster of the tsunami, pictures of grief, a woman enveloping her dead boy, the white waves approaching, the aftermath of terror and debris. This was their story. He told his story as his children went to buy expensive 7-Ups. For us who had just knocked, hearing I liked the poster, he scraped it off the wall and rolled it into my possession. The story of his story, now on my suburban wall, which I show to those who knock.
Let's jump right in here. This poem is entitled Peace. My peace is the inward journey of an outspoken dream, backward, source-seeking, on broken wings to the cavern where red oceans roll into stillness. Lost contentment of an old idiom, grandiloquent, blind. I hear myself behind the noisy contract of words. Language, opaque religion, has sheltered loss and limitation. Where is God beyond this ruined thought? My peace is the futile advancement of an old wisdom, which has craved the tears of experience, whose goal is a backward glance over dry possibility.
This is Hijab, and it's on page 38 if you're following along. It is all hidden, I know, but it is not what you show to the world that shows you. It is the way you show, the way you don't quite hide beneath your scarf, your veil, a hair askew, hanging loose, as if by accident or some hurried task or movement. And what about those painted nails, both hands and feet, sometimes red and once dark green, and bangles too, and small golden anklets, as if you were some fairy princess about to dance in some glass realm, where your nimble form could roam free. I won't even talk of your lips, darkly rouged, perfectly poised, as if expecting to open for some mythic visitor. More thought, much more, went into the tiny parts you are allowed to show than to those you are obliged to hide.
It's called Azan. Lord of my world, sanctify my yearning. Let the soul of my dream rise to the morning of Azan. From east and west, let the minarets call, their music reverberate through both worlds. Dusty echoes of a distant pilgrimage have crowned my hearing. The past has resumed its tongue. Ancient robes and words whisper on. Forgotten martyrs gaze through memory. Tradition has torn its silken banner. Oppressed into myth its soldier in its needs. Sweet is your name in the purity of desert. Mirrored in the sea, echoed in the mountain, the myth reclines in your shadow. Night and day kiss in your arms. The chaos is touched with your language. History robed in your meaning. Far shores bewail their separation from you.
I'm Bree Albert Cowie, graduate student at Villanova University, and the poem is titled Suicide. He lies on his bed dreaming, young boy with no sleep in his head, no toys in his hand, and dusty feet. When will my paradise come? The dusty streets hold no promise. Everywhere lie ruins, his school, one room, bombed. 3 small girls burned instantly to death, sat with alphabet in hand. Half a wall remains, mud, a few papers in the dust. There was little before, now less than nothing. His aunt's apartment blown open to the winds. Human habitation shook back to earth. Tremors shaking your heart. His cousin Ali from his tiny coffin still speaks to him, still jokes about Lubna and her big nose. Aisha once twirling little dervish, her scarf opening like a sail. To the winds lies next to him, her coffin smaller. When will my paradise come? He sees them, soldiers barricading human traffic, hours of waste, leering, scowling, hours to kill, arrogance of power. Such were Roman soldiers in this very land, and Greeks and Persians and New Germans. His life has been lived many times before. Endless children have squatted, helpless, witness as fathers were forced to bow, mothers to open their wombs to violent seed. His mother scolds, runs her fingers through his hair. I need bread, get off your bed, and do something for once. Head on his hands, lying, he can see the sky. Lose himself in shapes drifting always away. His father's grave has no mound, just crude markings on an earth that forgets without forgiving. His smile, stained teeth, crushed with a rifle's butt are gone. His voice grows fainter every day, drifting always away. To remember is the struggle, this hell was not always. Even in exile there were smiles, family, men sharing cigarettes and women's secrets, huddled around hookahs, coffee, smoke, tent curtain flapping. And before that, who knows? What rivers flowed, what boughs overhung, what date palms grew, and olives? What myths, what biblical promises? Did we ever have a home? When will my paradise come? Now even memory lies in ruins. Our pasts have deserted us. Our present bows its head. Our future over the hills is taken daily, plot by plot. Our leaders are useless. Our time is gone, long gone, all drifted away. There is nothing left in me, nothing to destroy, all drifted away. I am dead. My paradise I will come.
I've known Rafey for quite a while too, as has Joe. As a colleague, a critic, a theorist, a teacher, and a friend, but it's a great pleasure to get to know him now as a poet. And it's an honor to be able to read one of his poems tonight. The poem is Sealed Book to a Girl Seeking Marriage. If half of life is now a sealed book to you, will it open when, as wife, you try to steal pleasures that, late revealed, we monks cannot freely give? Your face is only half formed. The face within will take time to rise to meet your mirror. Can you feel her throbbing? There is a visage running deep within who will surprise you. She will frown on her estate, will pound against the prison walls. The beauty of her eyes will burn redder than the fires that burn books. She will not care for the dead smile of any mirror. The convent walls are high, but she will climb, slipping, tearing her toes, nails bleeding against rock. Again and again through years she will bruise herself till she finds herself at the top. between her and freedom, one fearsome fall.
Love? You think Muslims are repressed, that they berate love, that they envy you. Let's just say they have great love, if only you knew. Love in Islam is not forbidden nor frowned upon, just veiled. Like all real passion, no need to flaunt and shout from moonlit roofs. Love in Islam is tenderness, communion between wife and man, whose union, the Prophet said, in authentic narrative, the very deed is charity. So when you see those pretty women in their veils, don't pity them. Don't condescend or pretend you know them. They know themselves inside and out. They know, not just love's pleasure, but love's just measure, its need for trust, its need to know its station, to seek its own face. Love is infinite, a blessing, so stop viewing it as transgressing. The Creator knew, more than you, what he was doing.
I knew Rafey before he was famous, and way before he began to write poetry properly. I hope this splendid book gets the wide readership it deserves. This one's called A Muslim Man to a Woman. I don't want you falling in love with me. I don't want you looking in my eyes, expecting surprise at your beauty. I don't want to hear how your marriage is not working, how bored you are with your husband or fiancé, how badly he treats you, misunderstands you, how you yearn for passion. Do not bring this to me. I want to know you as a human being. I want to talk, converse with your mind. I don't want to see your neck, or your legs, or your waist, or even your painted fingernails. I don't want to dream of your lips or your hair. Let me lower my gaze and see the soul that lives inside you.
Jamaica Gordon, English.
Muslim slave. I am black. I am woman. Native, but these are words on the tongues of others. My lips are parched from centuries of work. My clothes caked with mud. My black feet brown with dust. I own no thing. I am owned by many. My mouth opens for food and sometimes for lust of black husband, white master. I am their tool in the fields, their instrument of self-worth, yet I do not speak. My inner voice is closed, sealed like corrosive acid ammunition. There are voices all around, screaming, preaching everywhere, all day long. I'm thrown between master and master, field and sky. Empty stomach, burned face, no one looks me in my empty eye. Outwardly, I no longer feel, but my inner thought peals like prayers vibrating in my soul, sounding a world so far away it hurts my whole mind. Yet there I am, dancing in yellow fields and flowers not far from the gate in the garden.
Little girl, where did you go? When did your world, your little laugh, stop? You hardly had time to grow, skipping with playmates on your slow way to school. You were born in your body. You did not choose, nor did your Creator refuse your joy. And then night fell. The knife fell. Centuries of darkness fell on you. They held you screaming, knees apart, your loving aunts all uncomprehending, cutting your mother's sadness, silent, unbending. And now you cannot love, man, woman, God. They have torn out your little soul. And they who sanctioned this, mullahs and tribesmen who know not what they do, will they answer for the life they tore? Little girl, in some other world, Will you laugh as before?
Recitation. This is the word of God. If you recite it before others, be sure that your voice is sweet and melodious, not mere noise from an odious mouth drilled into spite. That the lips which shape his language of light sing not just to sense, but weigh divine choice of syllable and word, whose divine poise holds the soul in its journey towards sight. Many have fainted, hearing aloud these sounds. Many have converted. Let me faint too. Let me feel his music as it resounds in my deepest hearing, as it moves through my sense, psyche, will, and act. If you recite, make sound sing my soul till it takes flight.